Bonjour tout le monde, c'est moi Charlotte et aujourd'hui nous allons regarder et étudier un peu le verbe ronfler. Et ça veut dire en anglais to snore or snoring. Okay, so I follow a page on Facebook and it's called The Délire, although I did think it was Le Délire, but actually on looking at the snip from the post that I found, it's The in English, Délire in French. So most of the posts that I've seen are in French. So they did a post, I think, hier soir, yesterday evening, and it reads « Pourquoi dans un couple, celui qui ronfle s'endort toujours en premier ?» And I've actually written that here so you can see what was written. So there was no point d'interrogation, there was no like question mark at the bottom of the, or the end of the post, but that's what it says, and voila. Okay, so on my handout for club members this month, I've got a link to this post, which is I think is publicly available. Let's click my link and see, and I've taken some of the comments that I like. So it's not tongue-in-cheek as such, it's a real verb. It's obviously something. Moi aussi je ronfle des fois. I know that I snore sometimes, my tiny little nose. Everyone snores sometimes. So this isn't mocking people who snore. This is just taking something which I saw online and I thought, hey, that's interesting. So we have a question. I think it's kind of rhetorical. Maybe it's not, because no, it can't be, because this person posting is inviting comments, so it's definitely not rhetorical. It's just something to, literally is the opposite, to get people answering, contributing to their content. So here are some of the responses. We're going to look at them, like there's loads, there'll be more by the time you watch this video. If anyone clicks on the link and it's still there, the original post, you know, it will have even more comments than when I was looking. But the first few that I saw, I thought I'd just add, because we can discuss the linguistic content, and the comments have been left by people who use Facebook, so members of the public. So it's real language. There might be errors, there might be slang like argot or whatever, but we're going to encounter what we encounter, and that's great for a starting point. So here's the question, pourquoi? And by the way, club members will have extra activities to look at to understand the language with that verb, and also there's a link to an article about tips for dealing with snoring. So let's zoom in a little bit. Pourquoi, why, dans un couple, in a couple, celui, so that means the one, qui, that's who, ronfle, so there's your first little look at that conjugated verb, present tense, the one who snores. And then we have another verb, s'endort, that's from the verb s'endormir, which means to fall asleep or go to sleep. To fall asleep, go to sleep. So we've got, interesting actually, I've never really thought that you'd have two verbs conjugated in the same way, following each other, but in this type of sentence you do, just like in English. So why is it in a couple that the one who snores goes to sleep toujours en premier? That means always first, so always goes to sleep first. An English person or an English speaker might say. So I've never really considered that you'd have one conjugated verb and another conjugated verb right after each other, but it's sort of the way the question's asked. Why is it that the one who snores goes to sleep, always goes to sleep? Anyway, it's just something I haven't really noticed before. I didn't think it was really possible. There I've been definitely proven wrong. Right, so let's have a look at the answers, shall we? Or some of the suggestions. Some of them are silly, some of them are trying to make sense logically. In fact, here's one. Ben, c'est logique, celui qui ronfle empêche l'autre de dormir. Now when you see this ben, that means like wow, wow, well. C'est logique, that's the letter C there on its own, because it sounds like c'est, it or that is. Logique, logical. And then we've got celui again, the one who. Celui qui, oh, celui is the one who ronfle. So the one who is snoring, because we're talking about the one, the person who snores, the verb that follows it, ronfler here, is in the third person singular. So not I, not you, but the he, she, it version. Okay, so je, tu, il, elle, on. So it's the third person and it's singular because it's talking about one. The one who, ben c'est logique, well it's logical, it's obvious, it's kind of evident, évident, that's another one they say. It's logical. The one who snores empêche, here again we have ronfle in the present tense, third person singular present tense, followed by another one in the third person singular present tense. So again, just proves that like what I would think wasn't possible on reflection demonstrably is. Okay, so empêcher means to like inhibit or prevent someone from doing something. Let's see if there's any other translations for that verb which might be useful. Put a stop to, that's a good one. Stop someone from doing something. Yeah, that's to stop someone doing something. Inhibit, stop from doing something. Okay, empêcher is a useful verb. So, ben c'est logique, well it's obvious. Or it's not obvious, it's logical, makes sense. Celui qui ronfle, the one who snores, prevents or stops the other one. L'autre is the other one, right? You don't need to put like, you don't need to translate the one part. L'autre says it all, the other, brackets, one, or person. Empêche l'autre de dormir. So when you stop someone from doing something, you empêcher, you use empêcher quelqu'un de faire quelque chose. So that verb there is kind of coupled with the preposition de plus another infinitive verb. Okay, so dormir, useful verb here when it comes to ronfler, to sleep. Okay, and s'endormir is to go to sleep or to fall asleep. Okay, right. So let's just have a look at that verb, s'endormir, because that was on the first page. S'endormir, that's a reflexive verb. So je m'endors, I'm going to sleep, I'm falling asleep. Okay, so second one here we've got je sais pas, je sais pas. So there's a ne missing from that, isn't there? Because normally you have ne and pas wrapped around a verb, like here and here, to make it negative. But like in informal French, you will always hear je sais pas. It's like saying, I don't know. There's something along the lines of that. So you abbreviate it by taking out the ne. Je ne sais pas, je sais pas. Mais, I don't know, but, comme c'est moi, comme here, comme can mean like or as, but here it means as or since, okay? As in, because or as, since it's me. So remember this is answering the question, pourquoi dans un couple, celui qui ronfle s'endort toujours en premier? Why in a couple does the one who snore always fall asleep before, like always fall asleep first? And this is the answer. This is actually an answer given by the person who posted the question. This is answering their own question or commenting on it. Je sais pas moi. Oh, je sais pas. I don't know. But mais comme c'est moi, since it's me, in brackets, celui qui ronfle, the one who snores. Since I'm the one who snores, basically. Peu importe. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter. You know? So, we saw peu importe in the Je suis ta maman, poem that I did last month, which was actually only recorded a week or so ago, parce que je suis allée en vacances. Oui. So we saw peu importe, and it was translated as like regardless of, or irrespective of, or no matter what. Lots of different ways to do it. Never mind, that kind of thing. So yeah, exactly there. It doesn't matter. Peu importe, no matter, never mind, not to worry. It's actually quite light-hearted, isn't it? There must be another way to translate it. It's no big deal. Okay, so importer is to be important, and peu importe. Peu is like un peu, a little. So importer is like the verb to matter, really. Peu importe means it doesn't matter very much. It matters not. Matters little, so not to worry, okay? So I quite like that one, because since the person who posted is the person who snores, it doesn't matter who falls asleep first, because they're asleep happy snoring. Cheeky, very cheeky. Okay, let's look at this one, which I thought was funny, but you know, you have to have a sense of humour. So I'm just going to check the word castor, because I think that's like a beaver. Yeah, castor. So this is a response to the question, why is it always the person who snores who goes to sleep first? And then this is just saying, la galère. That means something along the lines of hell or Jesus. Oh my God, right, as an exclamation. My God. Mon épouse is like my spouse or my wife, basically. Épouse, and then we've got a similar word for my male spouse, époux. Both of them, this is a feminine noun, this is referring to a female person, female spouse. But because it's not ma épouse, because it's hard to say, so with feminine nouns in the singular that are start with a vowel, like this one, E, it may be feminine, but because it starts with an E, we would use mon épouse. It just makes it more easy to pronounce. It's like when you say an apple instead of a apple, right? So you change the word that precedes the noun in order to make it easy to pronounce. So, la galère, mon épouse ronfle comme un castor. So, I don't know if there was an exclamation mark there, but it's basically saying, jeez, my wife snores like un castor. Castor is a beaver, so I don't know. Do they snore? Or is it like a cute little snore? I don't know, like this. Anyway, so I was trying to think what we'd say, like, do we say like to snore like a trooper? I'm not sure, but we definitely hear like a trooper in other contexts, idioms. And like when you look up when you look up ronfler on wordreference.com, you will see similar things. Ronfler comme un sonneur, I think it is, something along that line. Like to snore like a toad or something, I think it is. Sonneur. Let me just look at sonneur. It's got various other meanings too, by the way. Yeah. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not toad. So sonneur is a type of toad, but it's also someone who rings a bell. So maybe it's like making it snore like a freight train. Snore like a buzzsaw. So there's various like English equivalents, but ronfler comme un sonneur, I think that's more to do with like someone who sonner is to make something ring or to sound. So like a bell ringer, someone who rings a bell. So it's probably more along the lines of that than snores like a toad, although I like the double meaning. Anyway, and the toad is probably named after someone who rings a bell because it's like a croak and makes a noise. So I thought that was funny. La galère, jeez. My wife or my husband, if it was mon époux, ronfle comme un castor. So here, the word comme could be would be translated as a comparison, comme un or une something or other, and that would be translated into English as like. But further up, we have comme. I don't know. but since or as it's me, brackets, celui qui ronfle. So comme can be translated as, like, or since. Okay? And for that reason it's sort of because it's me, you know? Okay, now let's have a look at the next one. 1, 2, 3. Look at 1, 2, 3. Il nous reste 2 commentaires. We've got 2 comments here left to look at, but I've got other content which we might have time to look at. Kind of rushed today. So this one, I didn't really empathise with this, but I kind of understand that, you know, everyone's got their own opinion. I just kind of thought it was funny. Kind of a negative comment, okay? It's always someone who likes to leave a negative comment. Ça me dégoûte. Oh, ça me dégoûte. That or this disgusts me. Right? That's not the whole sentence. That's just literally what it means. Les gens qui ronflent. Les gens, people. Les gens, because it's les gens is talking about a plural subject. Les gens qui ronflent. People who snore. So the verb ronfler here is in the il, elle, third person plural. Okay? Not we, not you guys plural, but they, il or elle. Okay? So il, because it's les gens qui ronflent. So ent at the end of the er verb. Take the verb ronfler. It's a nice regular er verb. As with all regular er verbs, you take off the er at the end, and for the il, elle, plural they form, in the present tense you just add ent, but you don't pronounce it. It's not ronflant, okay? It's ronfle. So the je, tu, il, elle, and the je, the tu, the il, elle, on, first person conjugations, and the il, elle, last plural conjugation all sound the same in regular er verbs. If I have a chance, I'll show you that afterwards. So, it disgusts me, people who snore. So what's happened here is they've used ça, and dégoût is to disgust, a bit like in English. Me is me, so that's a direct object pronoun, which means me. And in French they precede the verb generally. Yeah, unless it's like an imperative or something. Anyway, it's it doesn't matter. So that me means me. Ça means this or that, or the thing that's coming afterwards, or the thing that's been mentioned before. That's a useful little word, and that's a cedilla underneath the C, which makes a S sound instead of a K. Okay, it's a C but with a cedilla. It's un cédille. So dégoût agrees with ça, like this or that thing, and then the subject that it's referring to is les gens qui ronflent. So people who snore disgust me. People who ronfle. Anyway, I thought it was quite funny, but also valid if they find it disgusting. D'accord, okay, ça va, that's fine. So, the last one here, I think it's the last. I thought it was funny, right? Okay, so I like this person. So she, I think it was, says, moi je m'en fous. Like me, I don't care. When you see that moi thing, you can see it in various places in a sentence, often at the beginning or the end. It's basically emphasizing them, the person, as opposed to other people. Okay, so it's emphatic. Moi, je m'en fous. Yeah, I don't care. So the way we do that is we would put like stress on the subject pronoun I. Well, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. But here it's moi je m'en fous moi. Je m'en fous moi. Okay, so the beginning or the end, and then the sentence, and then the moi is the emphatic bit. So remember, the question that was asked is pourquoi dans un couple, celui qui ronfle s'endort toujours en premier? So why is it in a couple that the person who snores always falls asleep first? This person said, well, I don't care, me. Je ronfle, I snore toute seule, all alone, on my own. Et ça me réveille. Moi, je m'en fous. Je ronfle tout seul, et ça me réveille. So what that means is, well, I don't care, or yeah, yeah, doesn't bother me kind of thing. I snore and I'm all alone, not part of a couple. Et ça me réveille, and that me réveille, réveiller. Je me réveille, right? So if you think back to school French, you might remember the reflexive verb se réveiller, which is to wake up, right? So, and that or this wakes me up. Wake me up. It wakes me up. That's the third person singular present tense form of réveiller. And it's in accordance with that. And the me, again, we hear it's ça me dégoûte. This disgusts me. Or that disgusts me. This or that wakes me up. Okay, so this person's joking that it doesn't make a difference to her because she snores even when there's no one else in the bed, and she wakes herself up. She stops herself from sleeping, which I thought was really sweet and funny. Someone who can laugh at themselves, you know. Very, very attractive quality. In comparison to something like ça me dégoûte les gens qui ronflent. Okay, so this person, as opposed to that person, this person, you know, like pokes fun at himself. This person would prefer to, you know, turn their nose up at other people who don't meet their standards. So that's what I see from that. But then, you know, tant pis, whatever. So now, well, if I've got time, I'm going to just show you how you conjugate that verb ronfler. So here it is. It's a regular ER verb, to snore. But sometimes you'll hear it or you'll see it used as like the subject of the sentence. For example, you could have ronfler me dégoûte, and ronfler would be translated in English as snoring, as opposed to snore disgusts me. It would be snoring disgusts me. Mais ronfler ne me dégoûte pas. So je sais, on est humain quoi. So like we're human, so we do these things. It's not that bad. Des fois si, sometimes yes. So let's have a look. Je, tu, il, elle, on. So I was saying that the first three, these are all first person. Je, tu, il, elle, on. So first, second, third. Sorry. These are all singular. Singular. First person singular, second person singular, third person singular. Okay? Whether it's il or elle or on, whether we're talking about he, she, one, or it, any of those are first person, sorry, any of those are singular, third person. 1, 2, 3, singular. These three down here are plural because they're talking about a subject which consists of more than one person. So nous, vous. Vous can also be one person when you're addressing them formally, but it's plural, so it's in the second sort of plural section. Vous, il, and elle. So they, a bunch of guys, they, a bunch of girls. Il could also be a bunch of girls and guys together, or it could just mean they as in something that's inanimate. Une tasse or something, you know, like un silo, par exemple. So I was talking about how you conjugate them. So you take the ER off the verb and that leaves the stem ronfle, ronfle, ronfle. The first one you add an E, the second one you add ES, the third one you add an E. All of these are pronounced in the same way. Je ronfle, tu ronfles, il, elle, on ronfle. And there's an on sound. Okay, on. Ronfle. When it gets to nous, it becomes ronflant. You add ONS, okay? Ron. There's the stem, ONS. ronflant. Then we've got ronfler. So the EZ is an E sound. ER verbs that are regular will have this EZ at the end of the present tense. So when you're saying like, you're snoring, you guys, vous ronflez. Ah non, vous ronflez. Vous ronflez trop fort. Right, you're snoring too loud. Arrêtez. So if you hear the EZ sound at the end, that's probably or possibly, if it's a vous form, then it's just the present tense. Okay, EZ, ronfler. The last one, Ronfler. These are the endings, the underlined bits. These are the stems. But the ENT in the il-elle version also se prononce pas. You don't pronounce it. So it's not ronflant. It's as if that isn't there. It's kind of silent. Ronfler. So ronfle, 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 ronflant, ronfler. Okay? So that might help you with regular ER verbs like ronfler. So let's just have a little look at some of the verbs that we saw that are similar to this one. So ronfler is to snore. There's also renifler, which is to sniff, which starts with an R, which I thought was interesting, that R and then the sort of N sound, the R and the N consonants, because in English we have an equivalent where we talk about nose, things to do with the nose, like sniff, snore, snort, things like that, snuffle, snout. They have that kind of similar sound that runs through words with a similar meaning, so related to the nose. So to fall asleep, well, let's think of to sleep. Dormir. Okay, dodo, that means sleep, bye. Dormir is to sleep. S'endormir is to fall asleep or to go to sleep, and that's reflexive. So I won't conjugate that here, but you see some reflexive verbs last time. Might have been my other club. I'll just remind you of how that looks. S'endormir. To fall asleep. Okay, so I'm just going to remind you of some other verbs that we saw as well, because verbs are useful. So empêcher is to prevent or to stop someone doing something, or to inhibit someone from doing something, basically to stop someone doing something. Whereas arrêter would be to just stop doing what you're doing. Dégoûter, to disgust. Réveiller. Réveiller is to wake up. Se réveiller is to wake yourself up. So there's quite a few useful, hopefully, verbs there, and I hope that content was useful to you, because you can click on the link if you're part of my club and you can find that, or you can go onto the Délire page on Facebook and scroll through the posts. The nice thing about that kind of content is it's kind of constantly evolving. It's easily accessible. You don't have to have like apps that you pay for that teach you different things. You can go on like the French language version of various pages and find comments. This is like the délire means like it's to do with fun, basically. Délire is like from delirium, you know, it means like crazy or silliness, or it's to do with like insanity, if you like. So the posts that are on that page are often quite fun. Okay, so I would advise that you go and click that link, have a look through the comments, because I've just chosen like a few, and also if you are a club member you'll get a link to another online article which is linked to snoring. One more word I should also mention is ronflement, which is the noun a snore, and I think it's really cute. So I'll write it down here actually. I think in like my last video I had my baby asleep on my chest in her carrier, and I think then she was snoring a little bit. So I suppose she gets that from her mother. Ronflement, le ronflement or les ronflements. So a snore or the snore. So that's a noun. Le or a snore, un ronflement. Okay? I like that. Anyway, merci beaucoup. I hope that's useful. Leave me a comment if you'd like. I'll try and respond to you as quickly as I can, but that kind of takes a while at the moment because je suis maman, quoi. And if you'd like to become a member of my French club, then you can receive a handout like this every month to your email, as well as links to this video tutorial and discount on any block of lessons that you book during your annual subscription during the duration of that, and of course you get activities, access to me if you have any questions, and further study opportunities. Merci beaucoup et à la prochaine fois. Au revoir.